So the third of the 8 energies is G, which is press. Okay, its image is water. Okay, and there's something very special about this one because the image for all of the Tai Chi is water. Okay, so there are kind of 3 things you can think about with this energy. Okay, you've heard the sayings about water. You know, actually, Bruce Lee uses that saying. You know, if you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you pour it into the pitcher, it becomes the pitcher. Water is the most destructive force on the planet, yet it yields to any shape. Okay, so Tai Chi is like that. Like if you were to watch Tai Chi, very few people even realize in the general public. I mean, I know you guys do, but very few people in the whole general public in the whole world even realize Tai Chi is a martial art, and it's deceptively that way. I mean, that's the point of it, right? It looks harmless. It looks, if you have no clue what it is, it kind of looks like, what is going on? You know, like maybe like 20 or 30 years here in before in the United States, just like some sort of ritual dance or something, right? Okay, but it's a highly effective and deadly martial art, and it doesn't attract people who want to challenge it because of that, right? Actually, sometimes people say that about me too, and they meet me and they're like, well, I don't look like someone that knows any martial arts at all. Okay, if you see me out in the world, it's like, you know martial arts. It's like, well, so I don't get threats a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't try to pick a fight, and you know some of my students that are big and look tough and rough and don't want to fight. Sometimes people try to pick fights with them because they look tough and they look like they have to be fought. Okay, so the the image is water. So that's one aspect of it. It's deceptive. It seems harmless, but it's very deadly. The second one is if we look at the I Ching in the 8 diagrams. So we have the ward-off energy was yang, 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 okay, and the pullback was yin, 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 and then this one is yin, yang, yin. So on the surface, it looks harmless, and inside it has a strong core, right? And you can experience this when you touch someone who does Tai Chi as a martial art, and the movements on the outside have this really soft and beautiful, soft and beautiful kind of movement coming up and doing this, and it looks like dance-like. But then you touch hands with them, and you're like, whoa! There is like a huge solidity and power that's hidden, okay? That's hidden in it, okay? So that's 2. And the third idea of it is the practical idea, like when you're actually using. Actually, there's 4. Okay, so the third one is that it converges, like water destroys rock, so the water seeps into the rock and breaks it down. Okay, so we're here. We're here. And doesn't matter, really we can use any part of our body, but when we do press, say we're in the middle of things and I have my hand on him, or I have the idea of seeping in and finding his core and feeling and then pushing. Does that kind of make sense? So even without the press position, we can have that press energy. Okay, so if we're just here, I can feel in and just slowly find it. Okay? Now, I just mixed it a little bit with push energy. So, like I told you before, the 8 becomes 64, and so you have lots of variations. The fourth thing is very interesting. If you've ever done self-defense that involved using your elbow, okay, or sometimes when we do the saber sets and we put our hand on the arm, is that if I'm going to hit with my arm or my elbow and I just use my arm, I can just use my arm. I can try to use my body. But if I touch the hand to the fist, then when I do this, I cannot help but to turn my body. So when you touch your one hand onto the other hand, whether it be onto the palm, wherever it is, you automatically connect the upper back. Okay. Does that make sense? So now if I do an elbow strike, I don't know if it's a self-defense situation. Okay, I mean this is completely out of context. But if I'm going back to do an elbow like this, it's only so tough. Okay, and it can hurt bad, especially if you hit the right target. But if I connect my hand and then I do it from here or here, then you automatically use your whole body. So part of it is that when you touch, you're using your whole body and not just your hands. Does that make sense? Okay. So the exercise I want you to try is just very traditional. Okay, so we're going to actually use the posture from the form. And he's going to allow me to just lay my hand on him as ward-off. So you have ward-off energy first, across the chest to the shoulders. Then I'm going to put my hand here, and I'm just going to pretend like water that's soaking into a porous rock to kind of explode it or to break it up. So it's here, and I'm using this hand in this connection. Which you can also try, actually try this one first. He's going to stand there. I'm going to try to push him with just my ward-off energy. And then you add the other hand. And then with very little effort, it's bizarrely kind of magical, but it's not magical, it's just physics. Okay, give that a shot.